Hi everyone, my name is ILA MONICAL. I'm the founder of You Know Me and Not My Story and You Know Them, Not Their Story. Today's guest is Anna Smiley.
There we go. Hello? Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh,
Oh, there we go. I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Hello.
how are you doing?
I am good. I've had a busy day. Yes, we had some Aurora days today, so that was fun.
Mhm.
But my whole family's out there watching football right now. So, and our dogs are currently banging at my door. So, if you hear noises, just ignore it. They're out there watching football. And I kind of came in here in the little corner, and hopefully I will not be bothered.
All right, great. So let's get right into this. Tell me a little bit about your platform.
So my platform is called the Butterfly Effect, and it's based off of a technique that I use personally to prevent self-harm. And you draw a butterfly wherever you self-harm, named after mom, dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, and your one goal is to keep that butterfly alive. If you self-harm in any way, shape, or form, the butterfly dies. If you take a shower, wash your hands, anything like that, where it'll come off, you redraw the butterfly, and that is your goal, is to keep that butterfly alive, especially when it's named after a family member. It kind of makes it a little easier, so it's not just a random butterfly. So it's something that I created to help others because no one was there to help me, and so I want to be that safe space, that platform for somebody to know that they're not alone.
Absolutely, and that's such a cute little
Yeah.
example of how to prevent self-harm and suicide as well. I absolutely love that. So since this is called You Know Them, Not Their Story, what is your story?
So I have actually struggled with depression and anxiety since about fifth grade. I never really told anybody. My anxiety was a little more known just because I'd have panic attacks in class, different things like that. But I kind of just kept to myself. Didn't want anybody to know. Didn't want anybody to treat me different. And one day, I was actually a cheerleader on the cheer team. We were cheering at a football game, and it's funny because, it was the perfect night. Everything was going great. And I just really felt alone and felt like I had nobody there. And I attempted, and I ended up going to the hospital. Thankfully, they saved my life, and I'm here today. But I actually went to school it was a Friday night. I went to school that next Monday, never told anybody. And I never wanted to tell anybody because I was ashamed. And that's something that I've really tried to put out there, is that it's okay not to be okay. And it's that cheesy old saying that everybody says, but it's true. It's okay to not be happy, to not, be laughing and smiling all the time. It's okay to feel emotions and to go through them and to get through them. So, I started struggling with self harm, I want to say my freshman, sophomore year. And it's something that, you think, no, not me, I would never. And then you do it, and it's kind of that, okay, this is not healthy. And so I worked really, really hard to step away from that. I still struggle with it daily, still struggle with my depression and anxiety, but medication and therapy. Not all people have the same thing, but that's what I do. I love my therapist. She's a queen. But um, I still struggle with it on the daily. I actually have something that helps me a lot just because it gives me motivation because I'm very kind of competitive. Is I have a tracker on my phone that keeps up how long I've been self harm free. And I think now it's been a couple months, so we're doing good. But I'm very competitive, and it doesn't work for everybody. Everybody has their own niche, but it's something that really helps me because I'm like, okay, one more day, we got this. One more day, one more day. And then one more day turns into one more week. One more week turns into one more month. And then a year. And before you know it, you can't remember the last time. So I've struggled a long time with self harm and depression and anxiety. But I always say this in pageants whenever they ask me, why do you want this? I don't want it for the fancy crown, for the sash with a fancy title on it, to you know, go to events and be on floats and wear pretty dresses. It's all about getting that message out to people saying, hey, even though I struggle with all these things, I can still represent, I can still wear a crown, and I can still represent for the community of self harm survivors and suicide survivors and show that even though you're struggling with these things, you can accomplish anything you put your mind to.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've been self-harm free for about in March of 2024. That'll be 2 years. Um,
Congratulations.
thank you. And it's
Yes.
something that I wasn't. It's very hard to like talk about it freely
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
was so in my shell. I didn't really want to talk to people about it. I wasn't ashamed. I was just scared. I was
Yeah.
scared that if people thought this about me or people knew this about me, they would think terrible things about me, like how, oh, don't talk to her, she's crazy, she likes to self harm and everything. Like it's very minute little things that make
Hmm.
you overthink, and you just don't want to talk to people. And
Yeah.
it's crazy. I am so open about all of this, and I've actually never truly talked about my self harm experiences or my suicidal thoughts and attempts type of experiences with my viewers with the Instagram account that I have right now. And it makes me a little sad because I need to show them that side of me. I need to be like you and show them that I've gone through the things that I've gone through and now I'm growing and I've been growing for years. And I need
Yeah.
to wave that around just loud and proud.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had the opportunity to speak at the Johnson County school board meeting for mental health this past March. And I got to get up there and tell my story. And that was the first time I had ever given my story. I had kind of told, oh, yeah, I attempted when I was this age, this year in school, and now I'm here. But I told my story about going through the hospital and psych and, the experience that I went through and how my mom was there by my side the whole entire time. And I definitely could not have done it without her. I love her so much. But I got a standing ovation after I was done giving my speech. And that was what really showed me people do care. And there's such a stigma on mental health. Like you said, you don't want people to think you're weird or crazy because since I've come out about my mental health, people have called me a lot of names. It's not been easy. But then there are those people that come to you and say, hey, you really helped me. And that's the most rewarding thing ever.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to ask you another question regarding to
Yeah.
this. Why do you think that these things happen with girls and women today?
Yeah. I think a lot of it has to do with people are not, some people are not going to agree with this, but I think it has a lot to do with girls being girls, not being on their periods or moody or anything like that. But I think boys are a lot more carefree. Not saying that men do not have mental health issues because that is one of the biggest things right now that mental health is, coming in contact with is men's mental health and how it's not really being paid attention to. But, girls are really mean to each other. It's really hard to be a girl nowadays because you're constantly judged on what you're wearing, how your hair is, what your body looks like. I mean, it's impossible to go out and not think, do I look okay? So, being something that I struggle with personally, you know, I think it's just being a girl is what makes it really hard for girls nowadays, is because you're constantly judged, you're constantly, scrutinized on you. You can't show too much skin because then they call you names, but if you don't show enough skin, then they call you names. If you kiss a guy, then you're done. Like, it's over for you. But if you don't, then, I mean, you're shy, you're um, not wanting to get out there and put yourself out there, it's just one way or the other, something and somebody is going to say something negative about you. So I think that is really what's hard for girls nowadays, is because no matter what you do, you are completely judged on your actions, what you wear, what you say, everything. So I think that's why it's really tough for girls nowadays.
I completely agree. So how are you making a difference with your platform?
So I go out to a lot of mental health events, which is I would say favorite thing to do, just because it's more like in person, one on one with people. Um, Mental health events where we're remembering loved ones that have passed due to suicide, or we're celebrating the survival of suicide. I actually have a walk coming up in November. I posted it on my Instagram if anybody wants to join my little team that I've got going. We're trying to raise $1,000 for mental health awareness, but it is called an Out of the Darkness Walk, and they have one every year in Herman Park in Goldsboro, and it's to celebrate people who have survived. It's also to remember people who didn't make it, just for this community to come together and support each other. So I love those types of events. I have a website with all the information on it. It's got the butterfly steps up there. It's got helplines, websites for friends, family, parents to look at, to know how to comfort somebody going through it, the right things to say, what not to say, different things like that. Um, I doing pageants. That has probably been my second favorite because I like going out into the community, but I like being able to do something that I love and give a positive message while doing it. I love getting up there in the big dress and fancy heels, although they kill my feet. But I just love interview and getting in there and telling about something that I'm passionate about and getting that word out there. And especially in the pageant community where we're literally being judged on what we look like, even though, um, it's become a lot more about smarts. There's still that evening gown portion, and I'm not saying it's bad, but it can really take a toll on your mental health when you don't win and you think, oh, well, did I not look pretty enough? Or something that I personally struggled with is girls buying dresses in double zeros, and I'm a 6. And I think I can never fit into a double zero. It can really take a toll on your mental health. So being in that pageant family where I can share my story and share my platform with other girls, saying, "Hey, I went through that, and now I'm a pageant queen. I want to tell other people about it." It it's an amazing feeling.
And also, don't worry about that size. I'm a size 6 too, girl. Don't worry about that.
It, that I have definitely struggled with, but I have learned that, people are built different. Not everybody's the same. And, a lot of the times when people are double zeros, it's not the healthy way. But then a lot of the times, girls are just that small, and it's not their fault. It's not your fault that you're not that small. You just gotta learn to love your own body, love your curves, and not your curves if you don't have any, it's whatever your body is that you got to learn to love because it's yours and you're the only one that's ever going to have it.
Yes. So who or what has inspired you to compete in pageants?
So this is actually a funny story. A guy that I had dated for a long time broke my heart,
Oh,
and I had dyed my hair jet black, and I was just like changing everything about me because I wanted to be somebody completely different. And then I thought to myself, I need to do something for me for once. Not dye my hair because I don't want to be blonde anymore. Not change my clothes because I don't want to dress the same. I want to do something that's me. And I've always loved pageants. I just never had the guts to compete in them. And also, I knew Toddlers and Tiaras, which puts a really bad stigma on pageants. But just those crazy pageant moms and the little girls, I was just like, I don't know if I can do that. And we went to a little pageant in Concord, um, run by East Coast Royalty, and it was, I can't remember what the pageant was itself. But I remember I ended up winning People's Choice, or not People's Choice, Congeniality. It was called Director's Choice. That's what I was getting confused. But it was, who was the nicest and all this. And the girl I competed against, her name's actually Dallas. She was Miss Emerald Ridge's team this past year. And she was actually the girl I competed against. We ended up becoming best friends at Miss NC Teen. But I knew I was not going to win against her. I had no idea what I was doing. You could tell she knew like which step to take, how to pose. I was like, I'm definitely not winning. And then they called my name for director's choice, and I was like, this is an amazing feeling. Not only winning, but winning something because you were kind to people is the best feeling in the world. So I ended up sucking my mom into the pageant black hole, and we continued to do pageants, and that was last June. So here I am today, a little more than a year later. I am currently your 2023 Miss Summer River Days, and I'm also Miss Mid Carolina's teen for PUNC. So I'm having a blast. Not my last year in pageants because I most likely will do them through college, but my last like high school year in pageants. I'm kind of soaking in, getting all the good memories and fun times. So, but I really enjoy pageants. It's something that I never thought I would do, and now here I am, and I couldn't imagine living without it.
Same. I have been doing pageants since I was 4 years old, and I mean, obviously, I've taken breaks and everything. You kind of
Yeah,
I've had to because of COVID. But then there was that low point in my life where I just didn't want to do it, and
yeah,
I it was through the depression and anxiety that I just had to take a break because I liked what you said a little bit ago about wondering was I not pretty enough, did I not talk well enough. I just recently competed in Miss Moore County's teen and Miss Sandhills teen, that competition, and I did win, and I was confused, and I was sad, but I wasn't mad. I wasn't upset. Um,
yeah.
I was happy for the girls that won, the girls that got runners up. One of my best friends got first runner up, Emily Deans. I was like over the moon for her. I was almost about to cry. I was so happy. But that's what that's what pageants are all about, sisterhood. And
Yes.
getting through it, going to the next one and saying, all right, this is my time to shine no matter what. If I get a crown, if I don't, if I get some type of award, whatever, I'm just going, I'm just having fun. That's what it's all
Yeah.
about. That's what it's been since the start of pageants is having fun, looking pretty, and getting blisters on your feet.
Yeah.
So,
We love the blisters.
oh, gotta love them. Gotta take like 500 different bandages for them.
Yes, and it is very cheesy, but it is a lot about right place, right time. Whenever your time, you will win.
Mhm.
You know, there was a rhyme and reason to why you didn't, or you ended up getting first runner up instead of the crown. Something's going to make you better. Something throughout that time you're going to improve on, and then you'll end up going to the next one and you'll win. And it's all about right place, right time, and if it was your time to shine or if it wasn't. And I actually heard Kerrigan, our Miss NC Teen 2023, 2, I don't know,
I think
2.
too.
The past years sometimes confuse me because sometimes they do it like a year in advance kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Some systems do that, so I was making sure I was correct. But our uh, North Carolina team that just gave up her title told us at Miss NC Teen work weekend that right place, right time. She had competed the year before, and she felt like she didn't give it her all, and she went back that next year and she gave it everything she had and she won. You know, she just felt like that first year it wasn't her time. So I definitely think it's about right place, right time, that situation, which sounds so cheesy, but if you believe that it'll happen whenever, fate is like, okay, here you go, then accept it and take it and run with it because it'll be the time of your life.
Yeah, Kerrigan is the best example I can think of for right place, right time.
Yes, she is such an amazing person.
She is. All right, so that's it now.
Yay!
All right, we're done. Kind of bittersweet,
I
but
know.
you
I
nailed this.
do, and now it's happened, and I'm kind of like, I wish I would have canceled again because then I would have got to see your pretty face.
Oh goodness, I can't. All right, well, have a great rest of your evening now it is.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, bye. Have a great rest of your evening.
Yes.
Bye.